Say, watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content on info@millenniumnews24.com. Download the Millennium News 24 app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Stay tuned with Millennium TV and Millennium News 24 for the latest updates.
All right. We are back. I'm looking at these glasses of my guests before I introduce him. I just need to tell you that you are fresh to death before I let them know who you are. The glasses
Much
are
appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. This is another episode of the comment section. I am your host, Shirley Phillips III. My glasses ain't fresh. This is what I need to see because she's 49. Okay, so I have several here just in case my eyesight changes. But we're gonna get into that later. But what we're talking about today, guys, is this whole idea of this new me, new year, new me situation that everybody purports to subscribe to every New Year's Eve, and then somehow it never happens. It never happens. Okay. I have my theories as to what the issues are, but I needed to enlist the expert, the man Mr. Brennden Colbert. He is the founder. I'm going to assume founder and CEO of the Colbert Group. Am I correct?
Yes. Founder, CEO, founder, principal consultant, because I'm still out in the trenches, but it all fits. It all fits. Okay. And I've been in business relationships with Mr. Colbert for a while. It's been, believe it or not, it's been like 7 or 8 years. Yeah, 2019. Like, it's crazy how time flies, but yeah, going on 7, wild. It's crazy how time flies.
Time flies. And so with that being said, I wanted to just let everybody know that whatever you're thinking of doing or starting or stopping for this year, we're going to give you some tips today on how to put that into action, with the main focus today being on lifestyle, style, and mindset.
Yes.
Because you said it the other day, how you look kind of determines how you feel, and vice versa.
Absolutely. You feel good, you look good, you look good, you feel good. For sure.
You look good, you feel good. So tell us a little bit, for the people that don't know exactly who you are and what you do, tell us a little bit about what you do and how long you've been doing this, prompted you to get started doing this.
Sure. So Brennden Colbert, founder and principal consultant at the Colbert Group. It is a New England-based consulting firm, but because we live in the 21st century, if you live on another planet, I'm going to find a way to connect with you. But in addition to that, we focus on 3 pillars. Pillar 1 is inspirational workshops, motivational workshops. I do believe that inspiration and motivation are 2 different things, so we make sure we say and acknowledge both. The second pillar, which is actually the newest, is multimedia projects. Content creation, started playing with that around 8-9 years ago. I take it a little bit more serious now. Getting ready to start a podcast, and really any type of way to have human communication through multimedia. That's what we focus on. And the third leg, which is my personal favorite, is the fashion styling aspect of it. I've been interested in fashion my entire adult life. I've been professionally styling people for about 5-6 years, and all around I've been doing this work. I've been a public speaker unofficially for 15 going on 16 years, but I've been professionally doing it for about 10-11 years now. So it speaks to how time flies, for sure.
That part I knew. I did not know about the fashion. I just so happened to be making a post on Instagram, I think it was, and something came up on my algorithm, and I'm like, wait, he does fashion too? I'm like, okay, because I was going to do a show I was going to just center it on men's fashion, but everybody in the club needs help, okay? Especially in New York. It is a hot ghetto mess, okay? DC, I've been spending some time in DC, Maryland. People need help, and it's not always readily available, the type of help that you need. You need specific advice to your specific situation. So I wanted you to tell me a little bit about, how do you go about helping someone find what their style is? How do I know what my specific authentic style is? How do I figure that out?
So although that can't be determined in one conversation, what I will say is the initial consult, should tell you a lot about whomever it is that you're working with and or the client if you are the professional. And I
Okay.
think it's one of those situations where it is complicated and simple at the same time. As a stylist, I would consider myself a failure if I only wanted to get clients to emulate how I dress.
Okay.
That is where it goes wrong. So what happens is, and I speak to folks, they say, I've tried this a couple times, but it never really worked out. And then I'll say, well, do you mind sharing? You don't need to tell me details, but do you mind sharing as to why you feel that relationship didn't work? And 9 times out of 10, they say, well, they tried to make me a mini version of them. They tried to,
Mhm.
make me a mini version of the social media influencers, which there's nothing wrong with that. But a key component when I do my intakes, I say, tell me in a perfect world with all the money in the world, what do you look like? Because I have that answer on deck at any moment. If I hit the lottery tomorrow, I'm hitting up Italy for the soft cloth. I'm going over to London for the sharp business. Like I have this answer. And the third pillar is it's all about your budget. Fashion should bring people together, not divide. We're not doing the mean girl or the bully guy. We're not doing that anymore.
Mhm.
There are outfits where I get a tremendous amount of compliments, and I probably made that whole outfit rock for 74.89. I'm the
Ross,
coupon king,
TJ
right?
Maxx.
Exactly. So I think that's really what people need to focus on, making sure that whomever it is that you're working with is a good fit for you, just
Okay.
like you are a good fit for them. Because I turn people away all the time.
Really?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. Anytime, it hasn't happened often, but it has happened. Anytime we're in a consultation and you say something like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to step on everybody's toes out here. I'm trying to make sure." I respect your honesty,
Uh-huh.
but we are not in the same boat. My grandmother taught me, God rest her soul, she taught me something that sticks with me today. As a man, as a traditional man,
Mhm.
my job is to look good on a woman's arm, to look good on my wife's arm. That is
Mhm.
why back in the day,
Mhm.
when, before things got crazy with like, the Oscars and award season, there would be 50,000 men wearing the same black
Yeah.
tuxedo,
Yeah.
but you still felt that Brad Pitt looked better than all of them,
Yeah.
even though it's the same black tux, white shirt, black bow tie. There is je ne sais quoi when it comes to that. It's about the confidence. And, you know, when you are doing this just to make yourself feel better, not make people feel smaller, I can notice the difference.
Mhm. That confidence and well, two things. You mentioned traditional.
Yeah,
So there is still a traditional man or traditional male concept
absolutely.
that we should adhere to.
Absolutely.
Okay. What does that mean?
Absolutely.
Break that down for someone who may not know what that means. Traditional
It,
in 2026.
traditional, it to me, it means there is a undertone of masculinity, that non-toxic masculinity that can still exist. For example, there has never been a time in my life, in my fashion life, professional life, where I was like, okay, I'm going to this gala, but I'm seeing on Instagram these ladies that are going boom, boom, boom. I need to be the showstopper. I
Yeah,
need to. That's crazy. And
got it.
to be clear, it has nothing to do with being flashy. You could be flashy. You can, I welcome people however it is that they are. But to me, there is still something subtle and timeless about the classic tux, classic suit,
Mhm.
French cuff. Are you having the right turtleneck? Are you having the right dress shirt? Is it tailored? We can get into tailoring down the line. I have a tailor. Shout out to James Hill Designer down in East Harvard, Connecticut. I get my t-shirts and my jeans tailored. Everything is tailored. And it's because we've established this relationship where it's affordable for me and it makes sure that there's nobody who can wear the clothes that I wear. And we need to stop being so afraid of being proud of that.
Of
And I
being
think
proud
that's a
of
big,
that.
yeah, absolutely. You're not doing anything wrong by trying to look
So
good.
the fit supersedes anything else. How your
Anything.
outfit fits you.
There are, because every season I donate suits. I have about, my wife teased me all the time. I have more closets than her in our house, right? And I'm okay with that. And every season I will donate something. Oh, I don't really wear this. I haven't worn this in the season. Now, I will tell you this. There has been a few times where I'm like, nah, I'm gonna get rid of that. I don't really feel, not really feeling that suit. And then
Yeah.
I'll be like, you know what? Let me get it chopped up again. I bring it down to James. He chops it up, does his magic, and it become my favorite suit. So to answer your question directly, yes, that fit and how it is, and it's not too baggy, and there's a such thing as too tight, because it
Oh
does
yeah.
go both ways, and it can change how you feel. Just like you get a fresh haircut, get lined up, and you feel good for the next 26.5 hours, the same thing can happen with your clothing. And that also goes for casual clothes too. I don't wear suits every day. I got my 11s, my V-neck, and my chains too. It's all about how you feel that day.
How you feel that day. And you brought something to my memory from this past weekend. I was with a friend of mine, and he's like the Amazon king. He doesn't really know a
Hmm.
whole lot about fashion.
Hmm.
If it's a good price and he likes the style, he'll buy it. But he was a little concerned because the shirts and the jacket that he bought to him fit a little tight on the
Hmm.
arms. He's a tall guy,
Yep.
and very muscular. And to
Hmm.
me, it just looked like, I kind
Yeah.
of would have maybe went and got that tailored a little bit, but
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
felt like it was fine. Is there such a thing as too tight? This is just too
Yes.
tight on your arm, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have, your friend should know if he's listening. I feel his pain. That has absolutely happened. So what you have to do is you have to look at the material. Even if you're doing Amazon, because I recently started getting down with Amazon for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
my pieces, you just have to take the extra 5 minutes and read a little bit. So at the
Mm-hmm.
bottom, it'll say the material, it'll say the blend, it will say the country of origin. For example, anytime something is made out of Europe, excuse me, Asia, and I don't mean the company's there, but it's manufactured here. I mean, actually from over there,
Uh-huh.
you always have to understand that it runs a little small
Small and fine.
because clothing and materials are made based off the population that it is serving. The fact that we are international customers over here in America, we are not the target demographic for these things. So you have to adjust. Um, I've been frequenting this organization and this store out of London. It ended up being cheaper than buying it here. It gets weird, but that's who I've been buying from for a while. And
Okay.
I know that over in the UK, their clothing is not as soft as Italian thread, so it's a little
Yeah.
sharper. So
Yeah.
that's more so my formal. But yeah, absolutely, there's a such thing as too tight because I get it. You're doing your thing, you're working out, but still has to fit nice. You still need room to breathe. And when you see those things that say breathable, like those are aspects of fashion that you really need to pay attention to because they're not just throwaway words. They really mean stuff.
Got it. And let's see, he's tall.
Hmm.
So length, I also felt the arms were a little short to me, but
No,
that's
they
just
probably were. No, 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 because I know. So big and tall, I have very long legs and I have very long arms. And what you have to do is just take that extra time and filter to big and tall because they do have that available on Amazon. So
okay.
you type in men's big and tall sweaters, you filter it out, make sure, and then everything that you will see will be the arm's length. The general rule is always get it bigger and then get
Mhm.
it tailored down because there is little to nothing that they can do for something shorter. And full disclosure, I actually had to get rid of a couple of V-neck sweaters that I was getting ready to bust out this season because I'm sitting here looking like a T-Rex in the sweater, and it's just, yeah, like that ain't it. Outside of the picture, I'm out here looking crazy, like I'm playing at school with my nephew. Like it
I
looks like a little baby
can't.
T-Rex. So I had to get rid of it. I had to let it go. Hmm.
What do you think the biggest style mistake is that I'm trying to be politically correct here? I know big and tall is the acceptable term for heavier men, but for
Hmm.
plus size women,
Okay.
what do you think the biggest faux pas is that plus size women make? Style mistake.
I think the biggest challenge is shopping and seeing the world how you believe you want people to see you versus how you authentically see yourself. And keyword authentically seeing yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not referring to, I'm not considered plus size. There's also a lot of magically a lot of privilege that comes with men, because I'm tall. I have really long arms, but nobody puts me in this category. They just say,
Mhm.
this is your size, but that's another episode for another time, right? So with that being said, I am in full support of any person, no matter what the gender is, wearing whatever it is that they want to wear. But I do think a mistake that I see is, I think it is mismanaged self-advocacy. For example,
Mm.
you should be able to wear whatever it is that you want to wear. I don't care if this person likes it. I don't care if that person likes it. But I don't want a person to sabotage themselves in
Yeah.
order to stick it to the man. And I mean man just as human, mankind more so than gender. But I'm going to wear this because they're not going to tell me. I support you in that. But
Yeah.
don't relinquish the enjoyment of yourself. We all know the privilege and how it makes us feel good when we wear things that fit us and we wear things that are our size. Even me, there is a suit right now on clearance that it is technically too small for me, and I would look like that baby T-Rex, and I want it, but I'm not going to get it because the look that I would anticipate it giving to me is impossible because it's not my size. So it goes no matter what body type you are. But I do think that is the biggest area of opportunity, I'll call it.
It's not my size. And you got to remember, just like you said, a lot of the stuff that these women, I am a plus size woman. I mean, I'm 12 and over all day long. I'm working on it just for my own reasons, for health reasons. But when you're buying clothes online, they are cut smaller. And they're, I believe, a plus size in, I'll just say, Asia. I think you're plus size if you're like a size 6. Okay, so if you're 12, you're like my 600-pound life. Those clothes are not cut for you.
No, they're not.
And you should take that into consideration when you're ordering. So I always try to go at least a size or 2 up, based on, like you said, the type of material,
material, where it's from, all those factors.
Where it's from. And then if you're top heavy, which I am also, that's been my Achilles my entire life, because you can wear something with all wonderful intentions, but the way it fits me, it might look like I'm trying to give a message that I'm not trying to give.
Right. It's like, these details matter, the inseam, the bust size, like there are a lot of aspects of that. Now, what I will say to respond to that is, although those things are true, I still wish that manufacturers took a couple extra seconds to make that clear. So when I shop on my websites, outside of Amazon, I immediately filter to my sizes, but it tells me right away, hey, this is big and tall, and it's nothing weird or anything like that. But unfortunately, with a lot of my female clients, I don't see those filters available. So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you're criticizing these women, but if her size is a large and she buys a large, I mean, what do you want her to do? She bought the correct size. So that's kind of the responsibility that falls on them as well.
I also wish too, like you said, that the majority in the United States, at least the majority, we are mostly plus size people, big and tall. So I'm not understanding why things are not more tailored to that demographic. I really don't understand why we are living a lie, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a $1 million question.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about budgeting, mindset, lifestyle. How do these things? Do you often feel like the issues that are featured on network TV don't interest you, don't affect you? Do you feel like the arts and cultural events that are featured don't really interest you? Do you generally feel like your voice goes unheard? If you answered yes to any of those questions, Millennium News 24 is here to help you. I'm Shirley Phillips, and I'm the host of The Comment Section, a new show on Millennium News 24, airing on Sundays, and we are airing on all streaming media. MillenniumNewsTV24.com, MillenniumNews24.com, Apple TV, Roku TV, Fire TV, Horizon Satellite, and drum roll please, all smart TVs. So there's no excuse for you not to catch up with us.
We hope to see you on Sundays on Millennium News 24.
All right, we are back. We are back. Thank you if you were joining us before on the comment section. We're going to talk a little bit about money. A lot of people say money is their biggest issue when it comes to fashion, especially men. It is very difficult, guys, to dress like you somebody out here when you are a man. Men's clothes just I feel like women do have a little bit of an edge when it comes to being able to be cute on a budget. So that being said, what would you say 3 wardrobe essentials or 3 things that you think every man, every woman should have in their wardrobe that they could use regardless to whatever their budget may be for that particular fit?
All right, so I'll start with the fellas. So 3 essentials that I believe every man or people who wear men's clothing should wear are a black suit, a blue suit, and I know people think I'm going to say a gray suit, but that's not essential to me. So the black suit, the gray suit, and you need to have a traditional dinner jacket. You hear the navy blue with the gold buttons. You don't have to have that one, but I do believe that you should have a dinner jacket because you're not always going to wear a suit. Like, for example, I am wearing a suit right now, but I'm not wearing a shirt and tie. I'm wearing a turtleneck. That's kind of the look I'm going with this season. But that black suit, that gray suit, and the dinner jacket is essential. For the women, I believe it's not as specific for women. I think any 2-piece suit that has primary color gray, black, blue, you should be okay. You do want to make sure that the suit is more of a business suit than anything else. You want to have a traditional business dress. It doesn't mean it doesn't need to be, sexy and gorgeous. You do you, but you should be able to wear it to interviews, lunch meetings, dinner meetings, business meetings. And then last but not least, I think it's essential in every woman's wardrobe to have something that makes you feel sexy, cool, crazy, makes you continue to have that crush on yourself that every woman deserves to have on herself. I think that's essential.
I love that you said that. This is how I know that God is real, because I have my TLC shirt on and you said,
oh yeah, I didn't think that. Yeah, okay. Look at that.
Crazy, sexy, cool. And
shout out to media training.
That's how I see myself. I'm a tomboy till the day that I die. No, I'm not a lesbian. Yes, I love men. Okay. Right. But I am a tomboy, meaning that I always felt more comfortable with boys in middle school, playing sports, running around crazy. Till this day, I hate wearing heels.
Yeah.
I know that I have to give that up. If I'm going out, if I am on an interview, a heel can change your whole look.
Yes.
But I'm 49 now, and it's getting a little hard. It's getting a little hard, Brendan, because my feet hurt. Okay.
I get it.
So is it a necessity? Do you think that we have to adhere to just certain, does that traditional rule apply to women? Do we have to just get over it and suck it out?
I think that's a loaded question. And let me tell you why. In a word, yes, but I think it's levels to that. For example, I think a heel is fine, but if said heel is comfortable, I'm not going to say, oh, look at her, she's not professional. No, I think something that goes well with a business dress, a business suit, if it has a heel, I think that's fine. It doesn't need to be it doesn't need to. That is a myth. That is a myth dipped in misogyny, which is a whole another episode, right? But I think that there are so many reasons why traditional pumps or stilettos might not be ideal. And the general rule is, if wearing this thing physically makes you uncomfortable, then maybe we should revisit that. And think about it from this point of view. When you think of old-fashioned rules that may or may not be extremely toxic, think of why the rule is there. What benefit does it give for a woman to wear uncomfortable heels versus a heel that it could be a wedge or whatever the case is? It visually doesn't affect the meeting, because when it comes down to, are you dressed professional? Yes. Are you wearing something revealing? No. Then those are the checks. when it comes to those unrealistic standards, it really comes from, well, I need to be attracted to this person in order to, take them serious or do business deals, and which is wildly ridiculous. It is something that has plagued society for a long time,
Yeah.
and I think it's time to, we're not going to change this overnight, but I do think it's time to start having those real conversations and
Mhm.
stop punishing people for speaking up and just asking why. Well, why do I need to wear this pump? Because would you say that to somebody who has medical challenges on their foot? You would immediately say that's okay.
Exactly.
So if you would immediately say that's okay, is it that much of a standard that we need to continue?
Got it.
Mm.
I think that is an excellent response. And I will add to that by saying if you are someone who suffers with or struggles with the same issues that I'm having, is there's nothing wrong with having two pairs of shoes. You might have a heel that you wear out, during the beginning of the
Mhm.
event, and as the evening goes on or as that interview wears on, there's nothing wrong with slipping into another, going into the restroom and slipping into another shoe, still professional, still appropriate. If your feet start to hurt, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's
And
fine.
that's often what I do. I know I
As you
sound
should.
auntie, but listen, I'm trying to help the people.
It makes sense. I can't. Let me tell you something. I am the king of ready to go.
Yeah.
I am always ready to go. And I used to feel so self-conscious about that. Like, oh, are they gonna feel that I don't like them? Are they gonna feel that I don't care? And then, through like therapy and all these other things, I realized that it's not a personality flaw. It is
Mhm.
actually me being intertwined with my personality and be like, okay, I've had enough. Shout out to you. So I say that to say, imagine your foot hurting. And then you're like, you
The
know
pinky
what?
toe.
Right. Maybe this pencil that I'm wearing on top of this shoe might not be the best for my feet right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch that out to something comfortable.
I'm
And
gonna go ahead.
somebody to say, oh, I see you don't have those pumps on. That is insane. When we say it out loud, it sounds ridiculous, but that is the culture that we have an opportunity to at least begin to change. So I'm with you. I think it's a smart play.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you. I definitely, I'm already thinking forward. I would love for you to come and speak to some of the boys that we're working
Yeah,
with in
anytime.
the Bronx.
Hmm. Anytime.
Um, there's a new fad out where the boys are wearing like pleated skirts and carrying purses.
I saw.
Um, I'm not a fan. I
Hmm.
mean, people can do what they want. I'm not a fan, but you're asking them, well, are you identifying as a young
Right.
lady? Or what are we doing here? And
These
they're
are
saying
important questions.
they say no, I'm straight. How do you feel about that?
So I think that, and I haven't seen it as much here in Connecticut as other places, larger metropolitan areas, but I see renditions of that here. And I think that question that you asked is perfect, right? Because it's important that these young men know that your issue isn't with, what they identify as. We don't care about that. Like whoever you are, cool. I'll call you whatever you want. However, my thing is, I just have some follow up questions if you
That's
are
how these
prepared to
men.
answer them, right? And in full disclosure, this isn't the first time we've seen it. Now, the last time I've seen that trend try to pop was like early 2010s. I remember,
Really?
yeah. It just didn't really pop. Like I remember like the ASAP, and I've seen some aspects of that. Now, what I will say is I don't have an issue with it because they're learning it from social media without any context.
Okay.
So they say you are who your friends are, but they are for some reason allergic to actual human friends in close proximity. So I think we can change that to you are who you follow and who you allow to follow you. I
Hmm.
think there's a part of it is just for the shock of it all, which I refuse to give any attention to when you do it for shock. But if you genuinely have a conversation with me, if you choose, I've really been doing a lot of research on, old Scottish and old, you know,
Yeah.
Irish fashions. Cool.
Mhm.
My question will always come with love. And I think that disarms a lot when, you're not always having to defend yourself. The purses, I I don't see that as much, but what I will say is my question would be, well, I get that, you say you want to carry your stuff and this and that. do you know what a messenger bag is, right? Because what if we ask these questions, because they're readily available. I seen one the other day. Because hey, there's nothing for guys to hold on to. Okay, cool. Are you familiar with a messenger bag? And they say, oh, what's that? And then I say, oh, it's basically what you're rocking, but it kind of, it goes with this in different styles. You don't have to do it. The purse is cool with, that's what you're gonna do. But are you familiar with that? And 6 times out of 10, you're like, oh, I don't know what that is. Okay, cool. Let me look into that. Briefcases, TV has made us feel like you need a laptop. A laptop in the map to a treasure in order to purchase a briefcase, right? But really, all it is an additional bag. Like when we travel, I travel very comfortably. I'm not trying to be on a plane looking like James Bond. I dress appropriately on the plane. I'm in my joggers, my 11s, and my hoodie, right?
Yeah.
I always have a backpack, right? I have one of those backpacks that with your laptop and everything like that, right? So I can empathize with the fact that when you have more things to carry, you have additional things. So my response in a short sentence would be, I'm just wondering why. Whatever their answer is okay with me. But I do think a lot of that has a lot to do with shock value, because they want you to have a problem with it. And I found some young men just like, oh, I don't actually care what you wear. Like, cool, but why? Like,
but why?
Why is not always a negative question, right? It's just, I'm curious. Like, have you ever heard of a messenger bag? And a lot of them hasn't. So it'll be over in a couple months, and something else will be there.
I hope so, because I'm just not a fan. I just don't, aesthetically, it's just not something that I'm into.
I get it.
But I also work with children, teenagers, preteens, and they're very, very impressionable.
Very.
And they talk to me. They tell me things that they don't necessarily tell their parents. And a lot of them are saying that, the boys I'm talking about, they feel that society is dedicated to women's issues, women's fashion, women, girls, and they said we don't feel seen. So I've made it my business to make 2026 a year that I do focus and give credence to what these young men are saying. On another note, for my young ladies, there are some things that I do wish we would stop. It's going to be a lot of people not happy with this, but the eyelashes, like the eyelashes that touch your forehead, I have an issue. Because why? I need to know why you feel like you need to look like Snuffleupagus from Sesame Street.
Right.
Why? How you feel about those? Be honest.
Oh, I always will. The eyelashes threw me off. Now, obviously, I've known that eyelash extension, and I've always known those things exist. But what I believe that you're talking about is the cartoonish version of
cartoonish ones.
I was in the car one day. I'll never forget this. I was in the car one day and I looked to my right. I seen this young lady, nice looking young lady, and I laugh about this to this day. I thought something was on her face.
It looks like an insect.
Yes. I thought it was and this is no disrespect, people. And if you got those who know what we're talking, for those who don't understand, we are talking about the cartoonishly long ones where you look at it like you have to be trolling us. Like you have to be. I refuse to believe that you are trolling us. So I'm not necessarily a fan of it, but I am always going to be in support of women doing whatever it is that they want. Until here's the asterisk. Here's the asterisk. And it kind of aligns to my response about the young men. When you do things to get a reaction, to say, oh, these people are hating on me, then my empathy is reduced. Because although there are a lot of trolls on the internet, and although there are a lot of individuals who just, especially Black and brown women, but sometimes this ain't that. Okay, so sometimes you are trolling, when you have your phone out before you have a meeting with your boss before you're terminated, but prior to this phone being on, you literally missed 5 days in a row, you're on your phone. I refuse to not only not fall for those things, I refuse to even give that any breath. And what I think a lot of people, young men, young lady, whatever you identify alike, I think there is a core piece of humanity that they are missing, and that is this: you are not entitled to anything. I will respect your hard work. I will respect your aspirations, your dreams. I'm never going to knock anybody down. However, you simply desiring something does not mean that you deserve it, right? So when you're online and you're wearing these things and which is okay, you know, and you are not getting the plethora of positive responses that you feel that you are entitled to, I suggest, hey, maybe come back and regroup. What was your intention for even doing that? Are you doing that to go viral? Are you doing that to shock people? Are you doing that for a reaction? Because when you don't do that for those negative reasons, you value those 3 likes
Yeah.
because you know those 3 people who liked it
Yeah.
really mess with you. And I work with, although I've turned people away, but I genuinely work with all tax brackets, all people, you know, people outside the culture, whatever it is, I'll work with you until I find out that your reasoning or your motivation does not align with the core values of what it is that I'm doing. Because I can tell you this, all the women out here, there is I will confirm this myth right now, that 26 hours and 30 minutes after said haircut, I feel exactly how you think I feel. Okay. It is something majestic about that, right? And you know, I will come home. I usually record my content Sunday nights. You know how it is. You change outfits, this and that, right? But even if the numbers are low, the views, blah blah blah, I still feel good because it is authentic. I did not go to the barbershop and be like, yo, Carver Z in here.
Yeah, let me get some blue dye in there.
Right. So I can get online, and if those same 3 likes are there, I'm just like, oh, everybody acting like, because you know that you're not being authentic in your action. So that's where the reactions come. And just be you. They'll adjust.
Be you. Yeah. They will adjust. And I really do believe that once you get to this big age, if you feel that you need validation from social media, you're literally on social media every day posting selfies. Do what you want to do, but ask yourself, why do I feel the need to do that at 55? Why am I, in my phone every day posting selfies or posting full body shots and sexy dresses every single day?
Every day.
You're looking for something.
Absolutely.
And I don't care how people feel about that. I just feel like at some point there needs to be a level of maturity and a level of expectation for women of a certain age. I just believe
I agree.
We're going to take a quick break, but I did want to talk quickly about this Jamal Bryant situation because that's creating a lot of controversy. And apparently, Cameron Hall the other day. I missed that, but I wanted to get your opinion on that.
Sure.
And I also wanted to give people some right now activities that they can do, like today, to start their new you for 2026. We'll be right back with the comments.
Let's do it.
Do you often feel like the issues that are featured on network TV don't interest you, don't affect you? Do you feel like the arts and cultural events that are featured don't really interest you? Do you generally feel like your voice goes unheard? If you answered yes to any of those questions, Millennium News 24 is here to help you. I'm Shirley Phillips, and I'm the host of The Comment Section, a new show on Millennium News 24, airing on Sundays, and we are airing on all streaming media. MillenniumNewsTV24.com, MillenniumNews24.com, Apple TV, Roku TV, Fire TV, Horizon Satellite, and drum roll please, all smart TVs. So there's no excuse for you not to catch up with us. We hope to see you on Sundays on Millennium News 24.
All right, we are back with the comment section. This hour goes by so fast. Y'all
It
might
sure
have to give
does.
2 hours.
We
You
have
get
to do a
everything.
part two.
I need a part. We're gonna have to do a part 2 for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
For sure. And I wanted to bring some people in with
Yeah, be good.
specific questions, or either I'll just refer them to you so they can get one-on-one with you. But Jamal Bryant and wife. Jamal Bryant, for those that don't know, mega pastor, very big social media presence. Um, Got to be tactful. We don't want to offend, but he had a dress that he purchased for his wife, which people were incorrectly saying that it was see-through. It wasn't see-through. It was flesh toned, but it was very, very risque, to say the least. And he was getting a lot of backlash because they were saying that the dress was inappropriate, with him being a pastor, and that pastors and their wives are supposed to present a certain image. Did you get a chance to see the dress, and do you agree with what they were saying?
I did get a chance to see the dress. I do not agree with what they were saying. Um, when my phone was blowing up, right, from all the notifications, I just knew aliens invaded Earth because the way
The way they presented it.
So I checked it out, and I agree 100%. And the best part to me about that was this unspoken, are y'all serious? Like, that is what I picked up.
Yeah.
He's like, I am taking time out of my sermon to talk to these people about what? First off, that grown woman can wear whatever it is that she wants. Just because you stopped desiring to be sexy once you hit a certain age doesn't mean that that couple, that married couple, needs to do the same thing. Now, let's introduce the ideology of colors. Nothing about that dress was see-through. She just perfectly blended the color palette to her skin tone. People,
Exactly.
101. That's literally, I am wearing, this is purple. They call it berry. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I chose this hue of purple because it complements my skin tone over a lighter purple. The same ideology that I just described to you, exactly. That dress was too nice for it to be a mistake, right? Like, that dress was too gorgeous for it to just be like, oh, that one over there. No, that dress has some zeros on it, as it should, right? So I see this a lot within the evangelical community. I can assure you this: if I ever became a millionaire, y'all would be mad at me because the level in which you shop changes. Okay, I'll probably still always be the coupon king, but it changes, right? So that goes to when we were talking about at the beginning of the show about the gender roles and the unfair treatment of women when it comes to dressing. For example, I have a lot of tattoos. That is a part of my really personality at this point. I've had 52 separate tattoo sessions. Okay, my entire chest done, my entire arms done, both hands. And I say that to say this: we in January. Come May, I'm telling y'all right now, it's going to be a lot of double-breasted suits with no tank under. That is what I'm going for. I sit down and be like, okay, boom, what am I going to do for this year? That's what I want to try. A little bit more confident, in the gym a little bit, and I can assure you of this. Now, obviously, I'm not an evangelical figure. Nobody would assume it. But even if I was, I would wear that.
I will wear that.
There is nothing in. Imagine. I'm going to go on a whole rant. Imagine having a temper tantrum over a gown. Y'all are acting like she was on Instagram. You know, it was a gown.
No body parts were showing.
No body parts were showing. And if you can't understand the basic fundamentals of a color palette, the issue is not that couple. The issue is you and your limited desire to understand. Not that they need to explain themselves to you anyway, but playing devil's advocate, you hear people say you don't understand fashion, and you hear it in like such a condescending tone that you don't equate that phrase to anything positive. But there is a such thing as not understanding fashion, and that's okay. Nobody's saying you have to be an expert, but maybe question before you judge. And the wild thing, just to finish out this question, the wild thing is them people really stood up in that church, and when they made those comments, they expected
Mm-hmm.
answer and respond to them without any contention. But surely we've seen this forever. This is not the first time we've
This
seen
is
this.
not the first time.
But I will say this is one of the few times where I saw them both standing in their own. Like, let me explain something to y'all. I
Yeah.
understand. I love how we handled it. I understand that y'all had a couple questions about something that my wife was wearing. I bought the dress. She looked fine. And that's the end of the conversation. When you
So,
allow people to be so comfortable to even question, I do not like to be questioned, and I don't like to be questioned to a fault. Like, I recognize there are some personality traits that are associated with me being like that aren't that great, but I'm okay with that because the majority of the traits that come with that are positive for me. And I don't even want you comfortable enough trying to press my wife about what she's wearing because I mean we could do a whole conversation about the church, but I feel like it was turned down because he answered, right?
he
And I get it, that dynamic, the traditional dynamic, but
answered.
they shouldn't even have been comfortable pressing that woman like that.
I
And
agree.
it was ridiculous. Dress was gorgeous, by the
The
way.
dress was gorgeous. She
Loved
looked
it.
amazing in it.
Yeah,
And to me, it was just a bunch of people hating that
absolutely.
she looked so amazing in the dress that she had a wonderful husband to defend her.
Yeah.
I didn't see her defending herself. I saw him
Yep.
speaking on it, and I love that for
Right.
them.
Yep.
Um,
Wild.
but going back to what you said about just this idea of what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, being questioned about your decisions, it's a mindset shift that a lot of people really need to make, but are unable to. And I
Yes.
just wanted you to touch on really quickly,
Mhm.
how can people stop this? How can we stop this cycle of um, fear of disappointing? If you're in the social media or if you're in the social eye, excuse me, how can you overcome this mindset of I have to do things to please other people? How can you get over this mindset of self-doubt? Oh, but what if I do this? What are they going to say? What can we do to stop that? How do we shift this immediately? Because I see
I
it already brewing into 2026.
I think the short answer is to enhance the relationship that you have with yourself. And although that can sound like a throwaway answer, I mean it very literally. We all do it. We all do it in some rendition. And the reason why I'm so confident in combating it and believing that this is truly how you do it is
Mhm.
because I was able to get out of that, right?
Yeah.
And for me, the short version is COVID happened. And
Okay.
COVID, ironically, I never had a reason for casual clothes. I didn't really have a lot of sneakers. I didn't really have a lot of casual clothes, but I'm, working from home, working remote, this and that. And flash forward to almost 6 years, my entire guest room closet is full of my sneakers. I have become a
You're a
sneakerhead
sneakerhead.
during COVID. It's crazy. And I say that to say this.
Wow.
It was such a majestic feeling to completely pivot. No, I was known for always dressing like, and I still do. I still enhance both those things. But now, when I'm on the couch in the office, because this is my man cave, right? My office, right? I'm looking at, okay, boom. So those, we get to renew our glasses every June. So these glasses will go with these 11s and this and that. And it comes with a lot of confidence that I did not have back in the day. I was always the youngest one in the room, in the circle. So
Okay.
although my interest in professional clothes is and was always authentic, I didn't really move like other 22 and 23-year-olds. My OGs were down at the cigar shop teaching me how to pair this cigar with this scotch.
See?
And I missed all that. And I'm blessed to be in a position where in my early 30s, when COVID first started, I'm like, you know what? Let me see what's good with these 11s and now my whole guest round. I hope nobody ever got to stay there because they better leave it in their suitcase because the whole thing is full. And I think that relationship, that authentic relationship with yourself,
Mm.
is the beginning of it. It's a journey. It's going to be a journey, but You have to have that realistic conversation with nobody else there, not even your partner. Uh, it's easier not to lie to yourself when you're by yourself. And
When
I
you're
think
by
that'll do it.
yourself
Yeah.
in the mirror.
Right.
I'll say buck
In the
naked in
shower.
the mirror
Yep.
in the shower.
Yep.
And if you have to say it out loud, say it out loud. As long as you don't answer back, because then that gets into
Yeah. Some. Yeah. 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 You
answering
got that 211. Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
doing that. It is okay to stand there and have those conversations with yourself. It's imperative, not just okay.
Yes, it
It's
is.
imperative that we do that, especially as women, because I mean,
Yeah.
men too. But
No,
I
no,
have
no, no. I get it.
these, everything ain't for everybody, and I
Hmm.
know for me, just over my lifetime, I've had a bunch of yes people around me. If I
Yeah.
ask them, hey, how do I look in this? Is this okay? They say, girl, yeah, you look good. I'm looking at the photos like, oh my
Mhm.
God, y'all were not my friend if
They're
you
not
let
your
me
friends. Yep.
looking like this.
Yeah.
Now I think I'm safe, but there was
Yeah.
a time I don't think anybody was being honest with me because they didn't want to hurt my feelings
That's wild.
or they wanted me to look bad.
That's a whole nother thing.
That's a
You
whole
know
nother
about those
show.
people, them snakes.
The frenemies.
Yeah. Yeah. Had a couple of those too. Wow.
But for now, I want people to know, starting today, and again, we have to be honest with ourselves. Starting today, Brennden, what would you say the difference is between, okay, I'm motivated to do this and I have the discipline to do this? Do you have to have one in order to have the other, or can they exist independently?
So that's a great question. I think you do have to have an inkling of motivation in this, to have discipline, but I actually put discipline above motivation.
Above
I
it.
think for eons, we were taught that if you are motivated to do something, then some magical wizard from the land of Disney will come and sprinkle
Exactly.
something on you. It's a farce, right? That does not happen. It only happens in the movies. Discipline,
Mhm.
doing the same thing every day, getting up when you don't want to get up, that builds character.
Yeah.
For example, I have a friend. She's also a stylist. Her name is Chassie Chapman. She is the owner of her own styling company, House of Chas. And if I had to choose one person with discipline when it comes to this fashion thing, it's her.
Mhm.
She styles women, all sorts of styles, whatever it is, down from your makeup all the way to your outfit. She is somebody that is disciplined. She
Wow.
will say, this is what I'm doing. She texts me about an idea. I woke up the next day, there was a whole social media page created, clients popping off this and that. Although she is motivated,
Mhm.
it's the discipline making sure that she did this thing. So, in a word, I do believe that you need a little bit of motivation and to have discipline, but I
Mhm.
do think if you only had discipline, you can see success. The motivation is not a requirement, it's just an added bonus
It's
for
just an
sure.
added bonus. Now, how do you, or what would you advise someone who maybe started out disciplined, motivated, and maybe they had a partner, for example,
Mhm.
or a friend who tore them down or made them feel less confident about themselves and what they were able to do? How do you advise someone to rebuild their confidence after a failure or a big disappointment? Because a lot of people tend to get stuck, not just
Mhm.
personally, but even career wise. A lot of people get stuck doing things that they're tired of doing and that they just don't have a passion for anymore because of fear.
Mhm.
How do you advise someone today to get unstuck?
In solitude. You become unstuck by being in solitude. That doesn't mean cutting everybody off.
Mhm.
I am 37 years old and I have never felt safe a day in my life in this world nor this country. And I still get up and regroup. And I've had those frenemy situations before. And I remind myself that, okay, this was not a good feeling. This made me feel bad, this and that. But how I recenter is really simple. It's simple and complicated at the same time. I
Mhm.
remind myself that, and this might sound a little silly, but it'll make sense at the end. At the moment of your conception, there were 1.2 billion of you trying to be you at the moment of your conception. There were literally
Wow.
1.2 billion other yous trying to cheat. No, no, I want to
I
get it
love
right.
this.
You, no, it's
I
me.
made it.
All right, I'm next, and you were the victor. I can assure you, unless I'm mistaken, you have never gone up against 1.2 other people for any goal.
Oh
So I
wow.
remind myself of that and be like, I've already, and think about it like this. and I want everybody to listen to me and focus on my words. The fact that you were born is almost a scientific improbability. The odds of you being born, the human mind can't even conceptualize. So,
Wow.
yes, you were disappointed. Those people betrayed you, though, all these things. I want, and I empathize with that. I'm not doing the tough love thing, but I want you to lick your wounds and remind yourself that you, my friend, my unnamed friend, are truly brilliant in
Mm.
every sense of the definition. And there will never be a time, unless like the Hunger Games come, there will never be a time where you are up against that many people who want your slot again.
That's your slide.
Yeah, and
I
that's
love
it.
that. I'm gonna use that.
Go for it.
I love that. And I always tell my girls that I work with,
Hmm.
you consider yourself an endangered species.
Right.
There can never ever be another you. You're the last
Yep.
one. You're the only one. You're the last one. So you have to treat yourself accordingly.
Hmm.
There will never be another you. There can't be. You're the last
Right.
one
It's
left.
impossible. Yep.
Treat
It's
yourself
only you.
accordingly. All this suicide nonsense. I love
I
what you just
know.
said.
Yeah.
For men, for whatever reason, it's 80% of the suicides are men.
Yes. Yeah. I got certified. Wow, it's going on 2 years ago. Wow. QPR, question refer facilitator. So I teach suicide prevention, and you'd
Awesome.
be surprised that, I mean, actually, you won't be surprised that the majority of people who come to my courses are women, which is fine, but 80% of men, and it's a lot in that. And people, they don't feel seen, they don't feel heard, they don't feel safe. And that is something that can't be bullied away. I did a video on LinkedIn last year, said, I'm sorry, workplaces, you can't bully people out of their mental health challenges.
That's right.
So I really want people to hear that, listen, I see you, I hear you, I recognize that you are a gift to the world. Your circumstances, they don't determine how relevant you are.
That's
And you've already beat the greatest odds that you can ever come. There's billions and trillions of words we can't even think of in the universe, right? Like these stars and all of this stuff. And there's only 8 billion of us. That is a drop in the ocean compared to everything out there. So you, even in your adversity, a good life is not a life free from trials and tribulations. A good life is a life full of experiences. And I want those to be positive. I'm never going to romanticize pain ever. But I do want you to remember that life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. And that can be through fashion, that can be through experiences, business, or even just existing. You are still valuable on this world. If you don't get a Nobel Peace Prize, if you don't cure cancer, you're still valuable. And I think more people need to hear that. You
You have
still are amazing.
this.
Right.
You're amazing. And like you just said, you were put here for a reason.
Mhm.
God doesn't
Mhm.
make you stay, or even if you don't
Totally.
believe in a God, you're here
Yeah.
for a reason. You have a purpose.
Right.
And I think that during this second half of my life, I am going to focus more on what my purpose is. And I want to
Yep.
help as many people as possible find their purpose. Because, like you said, there's a lot of people that just feel unseen, unheard.
Yeah.
I had one young lady, well, she was 23.
Hmm.
She told me, she said, Miss Phillips, I've never had anybody tell me that I was pretty. She said, I've never had a guy hit on me, high school, my dad,
Hmm.
nobody ever told me
Oh, man.
that I was pretty. And I'm like, wow, I can't imagine how that must feel.
Right.
A
The
young
absence
lady,
of that. Yeah. Yeah.
But Brendan, this has been great. We definitely need a part 2 and
Yeah.
possibly
Let's do it. Fashion Week's next month. We can make it happen. We can do a recap show.
please tell them where they can find you if they need a consultation, if
Sure.
they want to have you motivational speak. Please tell us where we can find you.
Quickest way to grab me is the Colbert Group _ LOC on Instagram. You can email me, Brendan at thecolbertgroup.org, or you can give me a call at 860-810-3517. Call, text, send a pigeon, whatever it is that you need to do. Get in contact with me. I'm looking forward to meeting whomever it is that I haven't had the privilege and the pleasure of meeting, and we'll connect for sure. I am definitely reachable. I
This
answer
is
my own
awesome.
phone. When I pass that, yeah, I still answer my own phone. So
I'm
take
working
advantage
on
of it.
it. Sometimes I
Yeah.
do, sometimes I don't. I feel like I need an answering service because it's getting real weird out here. I don't know how these people are
Listen,
finding me.
yeah, it's wild. But
It's
yes,
getting weird.
connect for sure.
But thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you for
everybody that
having me.
joined. And if you have any questions and you can't reach him for whatever reason, you can come through me and I will forward the message to him. He's a busy man. I get it. But please have a safe week, a blessed
Yes,
week.
you too.
And we will talk to you guys next week on the comment section. Bye, guys.
All right. See you, folks.
All righty.